seekers and heat seekers, revolutionary leaders, street sweepers and peacekeepers, deep thinkers, liquid with similar beasts of burden, carrying knowledge like apple trees carry serpentines.
So I has a brew. My mo's coming on a little bit, but it looks a little bit shit. It sort of needs it needs to grow a lot longer and become a bit less paedophilic, because it does look like a pedophile beard. Moustache at the moment. It looks a bit shit. But obviously, keep donating to that. mobro.com/SassyChaw, I think. It's in the description below, and I'll probably put like a bannery thing down there. None of you have actually donated to that, which is ridiculous. Like, I thought, fair enough, don't donate to me, but at least donate to a cause like that. Jesus, it's only like a quid or something I'm expecting. I'm not expecting a fiver like somebody already has. So there's literally nothing to talk about this week at all. I mean, I didn't do Brew Time last week because I I had some personal shit to take care of, and yeah, it was just a bit shit. So there's a few things, but nothing really to write home about at all. But Microsoft open sources .NET to take it to Linux and OS X, which is fantastic. This should have happened ages ago, but this is absolutely glorious. So .NET is now going to be open source, and they're going to put it to OS X and Linux, which is fantastic. It's good for Microsoft because it means that the apps that can run on Windows will then be able to run on, well, assuming they're using .NET, they can then run on Linux and OS X as well. And it also will mean that when developers create new apps, they're going to create it for everything and not just Windows, which is really good. I think Microsoft have realised since Windows 8 that lots of people are moving to Linux and lots of people are on Mac as well. I mean, not very many people have moved to Mac. I think a lot more people have moved to Windows 8 than they have Mac, because Mac is just, you can't really do very much with it. And it's very expensive what it is, which is a bit shit. Oh yeah, shirt, by the way, Enigma Tee, Enigma Clothing. You've heard me mention it before. You can get a discount code actually, Azzy10, get 10% off your order as well. They've got some really cool stuff coming up at the moment. Where there's a Paisley tee which I already own. There's a few other bits and pieces coming out. There was a jumper which looked really quite cool. It was a bit hipstery and had some weird phrase on it. I don't know. Worth checking their shit out though, because for a start they're really good guys, and secondly the shit they create is really cool. So there you go. And Azzy10 on the order gets you 10% off. So I don't get any real incentive for doing that, so it's just they're a really great company, and they've given me a discount code, and that's kind of it really. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, and they've not asked me to plug them. So the other thing that happened was the remote tower in Sweden has actually happened. So remote control towers in Sweden, remote air traffic control towers are a thing now. It's been deployed in Sweden and it looks really cool. European Union pilots are not happy with it though, and neither are European Union air traffic controllers, because they're worried that technology is going to fail. But basically, they have a air traffic control centre miles away from the airfield, and it'll mean that they can control the airfield and the airspace without actually physically being located there. Now this poses several problems and also several advantages. For a start, you don't have to worry about commuting to the airport, and that means that then all your staff aren't having to compete with all the passengers and everybody else going to the airport as well. Second of all, it means you've got then less space wasted on the airfield, and you can take things away. And if it's like an old airfield that you can't be bothered to upgrade, you can upgrade the stuff away from it. And with new screens and everything else like that, without having to revamp the entire tower to bring it down, and all other kind of stuff. This is quite cool. It also means you could have an entire massive office running loads and loads of airports around the world in one location, which is really great. And it means you could use less power, and you could do this and the other, and it is really, really cool. However, the technology is a little bit iffy. It could be a bit dodgy in terms of security, and it also means that you aren't just there. You can't see with your eyes. You've got to rely on technology and equipment. And obviously, there's an inherent problem with that. If you can use a telescope or something to look at a plane landing, you can see various bits and pieces. Whereas with technology, especially if it goes down, you've then got no backup, which is a bit shit. So I think it's good. I think it's worth maybe trying it out for a few years, maybe like 5 years, and see how it goes, and then kind of go from there. But it does look really cool. I mean, there's TVs everywhere, and it just looks amazing. Obviously, I mean, that's just sort of a bit Minority Report and stuff, and it's kind of my dream. I want a room just full of screens. I don't know why. Just not for any real need or any purpose. Maybe to play Battlefield 4, but just a room full of screens just for me to look at random shit, stock markets or something, just because. Oh yeah, something else that happened. I think this was last week actually. Gnome, or Gnome if you really want to be facetious. Gnome is actually should be known because it's GNU and it's but anyway, I'm not going to get into pronunciations of how you should pronounce Gnome, but Yeah, basically, Groupon were going to create their own tablet, like point of sale tablet, called Gnome. Well, at least whether or not they're going to call it Gnome, it was spelt the same. Whether it was going to be pronounced the same, I don't know. And the Gnome Foundation wanted us, people that use Gnome and the GNU and all that other kind of stuff, because it's like a desktop environment. Those that use it, they wanted us to defend the GNOME trademark, because it is trademarked as a good trademark name, although it is an open source project and essentially anybody can use it. The reason that, what Groupon were using it for was very, very similar to what GNOME actually is now, in terms of its operating system, or at least its background desktop management and stuff like that. But since the campaigning, Groupon has decided not to use the GNOME name and are going to use a different name. I don't know what it is. I'll put all the details in the description below, as you'd usually expect, and stuff like that. The final thing to mention is I have a OnePlus One, so this bloody device here is absolutely fantastic. It is amazingly nice. I got it through the pre-order. There was a pre-order that happened, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago now, maybe even a month ago, and it took ages to arrive, and then eventually this week it turned up, and well, actually last week by the time you watch this, and it is amazing. It's just, I just love it. It's an amazing phone. I usually actually have it in a red case because it just looks like quite funky, but I've just got it naked at the moment because I'm at home and I'm not taking it to work or anything like that. But yeah, it is amazing. It's sort of like just, I'm going to have to do a review of it because it is just sublime. It's sublime. There's a few flaws with it because it's running CyanogenMod, but hey, it is an amazing phone. It feels great. It's just, it's my new baby. Oh, yes. Anyway, but yes, that's it. I think that's pretty much it, actually. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, so definitely donate to Movember if you haven't done so already. That's why I'm looking like a ridiculous idiot for the month. And it will all be coming off on November the 30th, although I might think about possibly quite a video about that because I've recently picked up a safety razor, and I might do a bit of a review of the Edwin Jagger what is it called? DE89L maybe? Well, actually it's not technically an 89L because it's not lined. But anyway, I'll go on to that in a completely different video, I think. But yes, that is literally it. There's nothing else to really write home about at all because there's been no news. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So hit me up on Twitter at AzzyChill, send me an email aaron@azzychill.com. Oh, and also check out my Facebook page if you haven't already liked that, which is facebook.com/AzzyChill. I'm also everywhere as AzzyChill anyway, if you really wanted to stalk me. And apart from that, I shall catch you in a later video.